Alright guys, so today I'm going to be doing a tier list, and essentially I'm going to go through these steps. I have a list of tabs open of these tier lists I've created, and it's basically all for this. Now I will have timestamps, but this is what it's all for. You see, obviously Clown, we could just fill in the blanks right here. Okay, so Clown sucks. Nurse is obviously the best. These are just two known facts by everyone. Okay. Well, we will explain. We'll get to the roots, but first we gotta start with these tier lists to go into detail on why I think these. I've organized these things, and this is completely my opinion, but I've organized these in a way to help you know my idea. Okay, and stick around because obviously this all leads up to this. It shouldn't be that long, but let's get straight into it. Obviously, Cannibal is the easiest, and then I'm not going to explain these. These are just simple things. Nurse is obviously the hardest. You got to do the most with her. And then Spirit down, and then down to... Hillbilly is actually, in my opinion, easier than Plague and Trapper, because Trapper, you have to set up traps right, and you have to know where to set them up. And if you don't set him up right, you can completely lose the game because that's his entire power. While Hillbilly, all you really gotta do is flick on people. And in this case, for the Redeemer, you gotta aim and hit them and pull them in. And I think he is actually a little bit harder than the Huntress, which is maybe an unpopular opinion, I don't know. Because you have to aim and you get a serious reduction. You have to reload. With her, you got 5 shots. So, it's both ways, and obviously, in my opinion, the Shape, super easy character, not really that hard at all. Freddy's actually way down here, rather than up here or over here, because he's in the middle. He's like, you gotta know what to do, but you gotta not stress it too hard, so I'm not gonna waste too much time on these. This is just my opinion on easiest to hardest, not going by the game. The game rates the Trapper way too easy. He's not that easy, so let's move it on to the next one. This is stealth, okay? Basically, we're going from less affecting to most affecting. Like this, obviously, this doesn't even affect anything. This affects a little bit of stuff. And the next one will be mobility, which is definitely an increase from stealth. So let's start off. Obviously, these characters have no stealth whatsoever base kit. Like Executioner, he can be stealth with his Child Torments, but he doesn't get that right away. You have to use an ultra rare add-on, so these characters don't have any stealth, except the pig. What am I doing? She has some stealth. She can crouch, which, you know what? No. That's a stealth power. Okay. Why did I have that there? The pig is a stealth killer. She literally can activate stealth by the press of a button, and that's considered a stealth power. Obviously, Ghostface, in my opinion, is the best stealth killer. So these are basically what you can consider stealth killers. Ghostface, the Wraith, the Shape, and the Pig. See, the Shape is very dependent, but you spawn as a stealth killer, and you just change from there. And his low terror radius really makes him a stealth killer, so he's up there. Wraith, his power is completely revolved around stealth, but when he actually uses his power to uncloak, he's not stealth at all. So it's kind of contradicting, but and this right here, this is the people that have a power with stealth. This right here, some stealth or decreased terror radius. This means that they either have a decreased terror radius or their kit has some stealth in it. Like, just some. It's not primary like these, but it has some. Like him, decreased terror radius. Demogorgon, when he rises, he has 2 seconds of undetectable, I believe. Freddy is, he's oblivious when you're in the dream world, so that's very, very stealthy. It's really close to being a stealth power, but that's not his kit. This, reduced terror radius, reduced terror radius, reduced terror radius, reduced terror radius. And I would actually put Huntress, like, I don't even really want to put her there, but technically she does have a reduced terror radius, and that falls under here. And people don't really pay attention to the little boss sometimes, so these killers just don't have any stealth at all, no matter what average base kit. Unless you wanna say Doctor with some stuff, but we're not gonna say that because base kit. Moving on to mobility. Obviously, Nurse rocks the crap out of mobility. This is obviously the choice. Blight is pretty close there. I would actually say that Spirit Spirit actually has more mobility, obviously, because she phase walks and she has more control. He runs in a straight line. He runs in a straight line. He runs in a straight line. The Blight obviously can run in multiple straight lines, and therefore I would actually say Oni would actually have more mobility, because rather than running just in a straight line, the Oni can do a little bit of curves, so that's why I put him there. And then some mobility, which these characters have a little bit, but they're not here, or they're not super high. The Demogorgon, obviously, he traverses. It's not using it chases, really, at all. Freddy, his generator, he can literally teleport across the map, which is pretty good. Which I would actually say he's above Demogorgon in terms of mobility right there. And him, the reason I didn't put him at high mobility is, he is high mobility, but it's not to do a chase. You know what? Yeah, let's put him at high mobility. His power literally makes him run. And the traps, she can teleport to traps, which is technically, the hag has the fastest movement speed, if you want to think about it like that, because she's instantly there. But we're not gonna say that part. We're just gonna say that, yeah, if they do step on it, you're instantly there. You smack them. Wraith, yeah, his power gives him a little bit of mobility, so we gotta put him there. And then these guys have no extra mobility at all. None of their powers give them an intense mobility, like more than 115% ever. And obviously some of them even have less, so these aren't ranked at all. These are just no mobility killers. Moving on, high pressure. High pressure obviously is important to winning the game. You need to apply pressure to keep them off generators. So I went with this as in high pressure, some pressure, little pressure, no extra pressure. This isn't base kit. This is base kit, but this is their power. What does their power do? Not them themselves, but their power. How does that help? Obviously, Pig rocks this chart because bear traps are the most time-wasting thing in this game, for sure. That's literally her whole power is to waste their time. So that's what she gets. And him, Legion can force people to mend and heal, and that can take a while, and he can smack them really quick back. The Plague basically applies this pressure, which it's not even really high because people sometimes won't even bother to heal, but if you look at the generic self of it, yes, it does apply that pressure. They have to heal, or they don't have to heal, but they would want to, and sickness is something they have to go their way and go cleanse. And Oni, obviously, you have this man running around. He hits you with one shot and you're down. Super speed. We're saying his power, not how he is normally. His power. That's what we're saying here. Like I said, apply some pressure. Yes, definitely topping these people right here, because he has pressure. People are afraid to step in grass sometimes because of the trapper. He makes everyone scared. Doctor, that's literally his entire ability is to pressure, but it's not as good as Pig's, unfortunately. This is just because of the mend effect, really, and it also pressures them by, if he aims his Redeemer, that's serious pressure on them, and it can even fake dead hards, but it can also make people scared to be in a certain area around them, so yeah, that applies pressure. Freddy, he applies pressure by placing snares, making them oblivious, making it where he can just instantly teleport in their face, or he can fake it. There's just a mixture of pressure there that puts him right here. The shape, this is considered when he's in tier 3 is what I'm saying here. I know it says tier 1, but that's just the shape natural profile, okay? Basically, when he's even in tier 1, that invisibility applies a little bit of pressure, not really, but he puts him there because tier 3, he can one-shot down, he vaults super fast, he has a wide tear radius than usual, it applies a moderate amount of pressure. Little pressure, people aren't too worried on hag traps, but they're still looking at them. This can get people scared, the candle can get people scared, but it's like more of, I'm focusing on the basement in this instance. Like, people are pressured not to go in the basement, people are pressured to go into lockers. Just pressuring them, and this can insta down, which is a large amount of pressure. So, you know. And then Pyramid Head, the ability that he can just flick up and prevent them from going to certain places. Same thing with guns. Deathslinger really means they can't vault in certain places, so that's pretty cool. And Ghostface he's just a little bit because he can make people exposed, but he's also makes them oblivious to his presence, meaning he can do sneak attacks on them after stalking them. So the best case scenario with Ghostface is you sneak up on a man, you get them one hit, and then you go and actually hit them, and they didn't leave, which obviously they'll get that notification they will leave. The Clown is just simply that pressure really does happen on gas pressure. That's a thing. You smack them, they're a little bit tempted to do loops sometimes, and then these killers all don't really pressure in any way, although Nurse kind of pressures slightly more in a way, but I'm not going to say that's actual pressure. But these killers don't really apply this pressure that, say, these people appear to. So that's why they're there. Moving on, we now are at the chase, ending chases. This is how fast do they end chases. Obviously, Nurse is first. Okay, and you may be wondering, why is Cannibal there? Well, Cannibal, he literally just has to follow you and hold L2. That is a pretty fast chase, and I almost wanted to put him ahead of Nurse, but Nurse can actually get them quicker, which is kind of mobility and pressure combining, and they get here. So he can end chases fast. Hillbilly's right there. One trap will end the chase. Spirit can teleport. That's a chase ending. If a dude's injured and steps on this, you can teleport and smack him almost instantly unless they have sprint burst or lithe. And Oni, obviously when he's in that thing, when he's in his power, he can seriously end it, but he's not in his power always. In this case, I'm saying the average time, or we're like kind of combining. And the reason why Ghostface is all the way up here is because of exposed effect. It's basically the list of exposed effects up here, or one shots, because Ghostface can stalk and make a one shot. So that's the point right here. This you can straight up go on a dude and just vomit on them until they're injured and then smack them and kill them. That's why I put them there. This Huntress can end chases, kinda, I believe. That's so hard. The reason why she's there is because she doesn't have to reload right after she smacks them. I mean, I think Deathslinger's better in my opinion, but Huntress doesn't have to reload right there, and then so she can actually smack them and then follow up with a basic attack really quickly rather than give them a head start, because if you didn't know, they don't get nearly as much of a boost when hit with this, so, or like your recovery time's not nearly as much. And then Freddy is simply his snares, or pallets, which pallets isn't his base kit, but we kind of have to make it his base kit, which is kind of complicated, but basically, he snares them, he smacks them. That's pretty good. You can end a fight kind of quick with that. And same with these. These, honestly, Blight should be probably right there. Demogorgon, yeah, his shred. The shape, it depends. If he's in tier 3, yes, instantly. If he's not, he's one of the weakest killers because he doesn't have a power. And that's why shape, in my opinion, is kind of bad. And Clown does have a little power. You know, he has more of a chase than Legion, for instance, because Legion, obviously, they get a 4-second head start. And this is assuming they're healthy, because you can't assume that they're injured, even though normally as Legion, they would be injured. And for default circumstances, we have to put him low, because when he strikes a target, he's probably not going to be there for a while. The pig can kind of do chases, but she doesn't really have a chase-oriented power. It's simply her crouch does not really end chases. It is not that hard to counter at all. And same with Doctor, and Wraith is the worst, because Doctor actually can make it where they can't drop stuff for 2 seconds, but that's not really that good most of the time, and the Doctor will actually slow themselves down, trying to shock you with it, so most of the time it's not even worth it. And you'll actually be able to loop a Doctor longer than usual. And same with Wraith. Wraith has no chase power. He is the one person in the game that absolutely has no chase power, unarguably no chase power. You cannot. Yes, you may be able to get that quick injured if they don't have sprint burst or lithe or etc. But most of the time, no, he cannot. No, he's the slowest chase ender in my opinion. And then we're gonna move on to our next section, which is power type. Which this isn't ranked at all. This is just the types of power, and I'm gonna explain what this means. So obviously these characters, Freddy, the Pig, Legion, Doctor, and Plague, they're all to pressure the survivors. They try to waste their time on snapping out of it. Takes time as well as smacking them with shock therapy and getting them mad up. Skill checks that'll pressure them, pressure their gens and stuff. So, and Freddy, if you're wondering about him, Freddy he's oblivious, so that adds pressure alone, but he also places snares, which they have to watch out for. They have to be careful on loops. He's not a chase necessarily oriented. I mean, he has his pallets, but he also has the ability to teleport, which is pressure. So he's kind of like a hybrid, but I threw him in the pressure category for this instance. And these are all just the chase oriented killers. Shouldn't be too complaints about this, other than Demogorgon was a little hard because he has 2 powers. Same with Pyramid Head. He has Trail of Torment, but it's mainly to end a chase. It's not really to build that up. So we threw those, and obviously the other one shouldn't be arguable at all. And the preparation killers that you may have, yeah. See, Freddy's kind of preparation, but not really at all. It's like a contradicting statement because he can quickly place stuff down in no time. And the Hag and the Trapper are pure preparation. They have to set up in an area and then hope survivors go into their stuff. That's literally what you do. You prep, you place these traps. Shouldn't be much conflict there. We got others. See, these I couldn't really decide because if you want to notice a little trend here, these are kind of stealth killers, right? Well, the Ghostface, I don't know what to say he is because he stalks, right? He goes oblivious and he stalks. He makes it where he can one-shot people. Well, you're not in a chase then. I mean, I would say he's a chase-oriented killer. He also applies a little bit of pressure. Being oblivious is pressure. Believe it or not, I would consider that pressure. Being able to come out of nowhere is pressure. He obviously doesn't have any preparation, but he's like a little hybrid between these, so I'll put him as other. Wraith is like nothing. He's nothing. He's not a chase, not a pressure. Maybe it's just a tiny bit of pressure because he can go stealth, but that's it. So, but he does not he can't create enough pressure for me to put him in the pressure, and he's not prep. So, and then the shape, yes, tier 3 for sure is a chase ender, and because he goes through vaults and stuff quickly and has a big lunge, that is obviously chase. But his power itself until you're tier 3 does nothing at all. And he's more of a stealth-oriented killer because he has a 16-meter tear radius. That's his power. 16-meter tear radius and build up a burst power for the chase. That's the thing. You can put him as a burst, but I'm just going to put him as a chase because I know somebody put him as a burst killer, him and Oni, but I'm just going to go ahead and say Oni's a chase and he's the other. I can't classify them as either because he doesn't. These killers don't really do much. That's just how it is. They have a very simple power, and it can't be categorized with the rest, in my opinion. So, moving on. Let's move on to the actual tier list. I know this has been a while, but I'm trying to go through it fast while explaining stuff. So, here we are. The actual tier list. Okay, so let's just fill in the blanks real quick. Like I was saying, Clown, no doubt the worst. Nurse, no doubt the best. Okay, we got that over with, right? You know why he is? Okay, well, let's look at our stuff. Okay, where's Clown out here? Where's Clown? Okay, Clown has no stealth. All right, let's look over here. No extra mobility. Let's look over here. Where he applies a very little amount of pressure. Okay, let's look over here. Low chase power. See, this is why I set these up. He's obviously a chase-oriented killer. That's why I set these up because it's to explain my reasoning. If you notice, Nurse is topping the charts on high chase power. She applies, I know the pressure isn't high, but she secretly applies pressure, but this is a different kind of pressure. And high mobility. High chase, high mobility. That's literally, that's what you need. That's all you need. You don't need stealth. What? So, that's why Nurse is up there. And most people will agree with me on that. Now, the thing is, we just gotta decide where everyone else goes. So, I'm gonna go ahead and say, in my personal opinion, Wraith is probably the worst. Probably the worst killer. Other than Clown. And then I'm gonna say Shape is right behind him. Okay, right away, because the Shape, like I said, really doesn't have power, honestly. But he does have that little bit of power that sets him ahead of these two. And I'm gonna say that. See, I have these as solid killers. This is where the majority will be. This is the killers that they are like balanced reasonably well. Like Nurse is so hard to balance because if they're not red ranks, they suck. But if they're red ranks, they're super good. There's no in between really. So it's hard to classify Nurse, so I just put her in her own category, honestly. And Clown is just so bad. I had to put him in his own category. So let's move on to, let's say Blight. Where is Blight? So Blight's a solid killer. Okay, he's a solid killer. Maybe not right under Nurse, but he's a solid killer. Bubba. See, the thing is, this needs more improvement. He doesn't necessarily need more improvement, just he only is good at ending chases. He doesn't have really anything else other than the ability to end chases and apply a little bit of pressure. So it's really hard right here, but I think I'm gonna stick him. He's probably gonna be last right here. Redeemer, or the Deathslinger is obviously a solid killer. I would say that he's actually better than the Blight, but that's just my personal opinion. And Demogorgon needs more improvement. He's not horrible. I mean, no, he's not horrible. But he needs a little tweaks with his stuff, maybe a little faster, and then he'd be viable. The Doctor? Yeah, horrible. His power literally is to apply pressure that's not even that good. That's his entire kit, is to apply pressure and track. His tracking is good, so you know what? I'm gonna put him right behind Demogorgon because he does have that tracking. I completely forgot about that for this instance. Pyramid Head. Normally I would say solid, but they kind of nerfed. They kind of balanced. I don't even want to say balanced. I feel like he needs a little bit because if you think about it, his Trail of Torment, what is it for? Okay, you get Killer Instinct. Oh, okay, so you can send him in a cage. It's basically deny. You spend this time setting up traps to save time. So it kind of balances out to not really gaining any extra time. Unless they have DS. But there's ways to counter DS and that stuff. Even though DS is a retarded perk. But, let's just go with that right there. And Freddy's a solid killer for sure. Freddy is up there. In my opinion, Freddy is meta. I'd say he's better than Deathslinger. He has so much utility. You don't understand. He can do so much. He has high mobility, able to set snares and everything. He has literally everything. He has add-ons that slow people down. Their gen regression. Like, he is a solid killer for sure. The Ghostface. This is probably my favorite killer, and this is just to prove that I'm not biased. The Ghostface needs some improvement. I don't know if he's above Pyramid Head or not, but he really does need some improvement, because think about his power. Okay, yeah, you go stealth. That's pretty cool, right? Yeah, getting to go stealth. Okay, and then you give people the exposed effect. Okay, now what do you do in a chase? Well, what happens when you didn't get to stealth up on them and smack them, or you didn't get to mark them? What do you do? And when they are marked, what happens when that time runs out? It's essentially useless. So that's where that comes in. I feel like he needs a little bit of tweaks. Anybody that is here needs a little bit of tweaks. Anybody here needs a lot of tweaks, and the Clown is just, oh my gosh, I don't know how you can make him fun or good, honestly. But let's just move on. Hillbilly. Where's Hillbilly at, you man? Hillbilly is for sure a solid character. Is he better than... Yeah, he is better than the Cannibal because of his high mobility. The Hag. Hag, solid character. I don't know why I said that weird, but you're not allowed to make fun of me for that. The Hag. Now, I want to say the Hag is up here, but I think the Hag is... Shoot. The Hag is probably... If you get it set up right, it's above the Blight for sure, but it's really hard. Hag is really hard to use. Very hard character to use, in my opinion. which, yeah. So, Huntress, my opinion, no. My opinion, Huntress. You see, it's really, they nerfed her a little bit, her add-ons and stuff, and she literally has a 40-meter tear radius, not tear radius, but homing radius. That's just, I don't know, I feel like she's like so close to being a solid character. I know people are going to disagree with me, but my opinion, yes, the Cannibal is better than the Huntress, because what do you do with Huntress? You go up right next to a dude, you wind up your hatchet, and then you chunk it at him, right? That's what you do. Oh, also you can, counter pallets and stuff, but that's a chance, and if they're good, they would just keep on running and completely fake you out. So, what do you do when you're a Cannibal? You run up on them, you rev up your chainsaw, you down them. That's it. It's game over. If there's no window near or pallet, that's it. Okay, this, they get a second chance. It's basically like, in a way, you can think of it as a weaker Cannibal. In a weird way. Pig, better than Pyramid Head or not, because she's going underneath some improvement. Dang, I don't know. I feel like she needs more improvement than him, so yeah, the Pig, basically, she really doesn't have a whole lot of power. She places traps on head, which is such a good stalling, but it could be better. Like, the crouching is not even really necessary. It doesn't do anything but make save the best for last builds, which I published a video today about. Anyways, what? So, then we're going to move on to Legion. Legion's solid. I know people want to say that Legion's really bad, but he can apply some good pressure, and he's fun and all this stuff. He's better than Huntress, in my opinion. The Oni. Where would we place the Oni at? See, that's a good question, because he is a solid character, but we're up here, because you have to be really good at doing his stuff. Well, he actually does in chases better than Hank, so I put him right here. And the Plague. Well, let's talk about the Oni a little bit. The Oni, okay, he has a burst power. He has to charge up, burst his power, and then charge up people. That's his entire power. Like, that's okay and all, but it's not the best, because he has to earn it. And then there's a chance there's always a chance you don't get somebody. Okay, and then the Plague applies pressure. She's solid. She don't really need changes, I don't think. I mean, there might be a little bit of certain stuff, like, what is there? You know what? No, I don't know. I'm gonna place her around there. She's really iffy. It's super hard to put her at somewhere, but I think Legion is better. Legion does apply better pressure. Spirit is better than Freddy, for sure. You have your sound turned up, man. You can end chases really quickly, and you got that good mobility. It's pretty nice. And the Trapper, the last guy. Where are we putting the Trapper at? Well, he's not a solid, in my opinion. He at least needs some improvement. I'm going to put him somewhere in this area. I say he does need more improvement than... probably more improvement than... Demo. Yeah, Demo. Because his power is... He has 5 traps base kit. He carries 1 at a time. That sucks. And when you do use them, which we're not even talking about this part, when you do use them, you basically run the same 2 add-ons, or same 2 type of add-ons. Faster placement and a bigger backpack. Which they can tweak them and easily change that, but they won't. But they don't understand it's the prep, and it takes time. But you know what? It's fun. So here you have it. This is my tier list, and personally, it's a little tough to decide, and I know I'm gonna get hated on for this, but I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one.